One Zambia, One Nation. The headlines. Government acquires land from Zambia valued at $13.5 million. 5.7 million kwacha drought response released. Chinese mine in Sinazongwe to invest $950,000 in expansion program. And World Vision hands over ultra-modern dormitory in Shuangandu. Welcome to Zanis News. My name is Kafola Salamba and my sign language interpreter is Joas Shikombwe. The news in detail. President Hakainde Hichilema has emphasized the need for unity in the country as it brings development. President Hichilema stressed the need for all Zambians in all the 10 provinces to be united and learn the heritage of others in order to work together and develop the country. He said this when he officiated at this year's Ukusafya Pangwena traditional ceremony of the Bemba people in Mungwi District, Northern Province. Mona Chivende has the details.
President Hakainde Hichilema today joined the people of Northern Province in celebrating the Ukusafya Pangwena traditional ceremony of the Bemba people. The colorful traditional ceremony, which was at Ingwena village, was characterized by the traditional performances depicting the rich cultural heritage of the Bemba-speaking people. President Hichilema, who graced the event, stressed the need to be united.
Our country, Zambia, must be united. Our country, Zambia, must be inclusive. Our country, Zambia, must respect everyone else within Lubemba, within other traditions. Then you appreciate the diversity, which must not be a source of division, but a source of unity. Very simple. It's not complicated to understand it that way. When we bring the various bits and pieces together, the variations together, diversity together, on one platform of unity, we'll achieve more. A lot more than many people believe.
The head of state also assured the people of Northern Province that government will do everything possible to enhance agriculture in the area.
Again, around development, I want to thank the people of Northern Province for increasing the production of maize, because we had rain here, we had drought in the 6 provinces, which are traditionally the ones that produce more food: Eastern Province, Southern Province, Central Province, and many other 6 of them, including Lusaka, had a drought. But we have noticed, your government has noticed the increase in the production of food, particularly maize in this region. We want to encourage that. I said to Mwine Lubemba in the private session there, we want him to continue leading from the front to encourage our people to produce more food for themselves, and indeed extra for others, given the climate change conditions. Irrigation here is possible. Not what I mentioned, Kuno. Let's irrigate. That's my message around development, around agriculture. Movement will support, your UPND government will support production of more food, will support production of industrial products, agricultural products, will support irrigation. We're not just saying irrigate, we will support, and the programs are already there under expanded agriculture support program.
And speaking earlier, a representative of the Paramount Chief Chitimukulu thanked President Hakainde Hichilema for accepting to grace the event.
Mr. President, when you came here in 2022, the throne made a request for the completion of the stored works on Kasama Airport. We are pleased that the promise you made on behalf of government to work on the Kasama Airport has since been fulfilled. This gives us confidence that more can be achieved. In the face of the current energy crisis in the country, especially with regards to electricity supply, the country is encouraged to look north. While the hydro generation is possible in almost every district of Muchinga and Northern Province, and Northern Provinces, let us zoom in on Chishimba Force hydropower plant. President Hakainde Hichilema, we are grateful and wish you good health and success. We thank those who have traveled from near and far for this ceremony.
This year's Ukusefya Pangwana traditional ceremony brought together over 33 chiefs and 40 VIPs, including former Vice President Nevas Mumba. Munachipende for Zanis in Mungu District.
Meanwhile, President Hakainde Hichilema is tomorrow, August 11th, 2024, expected in Zambezi District, Northwestern Province, for a one-day working visit. While in Zambezi, President Hichilema is scheduled to grace the Lunda Lubanza traditional ceremony of Senior Chief Nshindi. Provincial Minister Robert Lihavu told journalists in Solwezi today that the head of state will address the pertinent issues pertaining to national development affecting the people. Mr. Lihavu says President Hichilema's visit to the province is an honor as it signifies the importance he attaches to the region and its people. The head of state will thereafter leave Zambezi for Lusaka immediately after the end of the official program.
The President of the Republic of Zambia, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, will be visiting Northwestern Province tomorrow, 11th, this province, Northwestern. His visit will be going to celebrate with the Lunda-speaking people of Zambezi district, where he will grace a traditional ceremony called the Lunda Lubanza ceremony of Senior Chief Nshindi of Lunda speaking the people. His Excellence, this is not his first visit, Northwestern Province. He has been visiting the province for several occasions. I want to reaffirm that the President of Zambia, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, this is his motherland, because the UPND was born from this province, and he promised cabinet and the entire MPs that this year, 2024, he will visit and grace traditional ceremonies in all 10 provinces.
Vice President Mtalena Lumango has challenged women in the country to rise and support each other. Mrs. Nalumango counseled women to refrain from working in isolation, but rather unite, network, and work together. She says women are an integral part of national development, hence the call for them to unite. The Vice President said this when she officiated at the UPND Nyamula Namayo Poor App initiative. She assured the women that President Hakainde Hichilema was committed to creating a conducive environment for women to participate in politics. And speaking earlier, Nyamula Namayo Poor App initiative representative Mpimpa Shikanda thanked President Hakainde Hichilema for banning cadres and political violence. Meanwhile, Kafue Member of Parliament Miriam Chonya has appealed to government to consider adopting more women in decision-making positions.
We have heard from the Honorable Member of Parliament the issues of gender and the Constitution. The President is committed to ensuring that there are amendments to the Constitution in order to incorporate issues like the gender issues and many other issues. But you know, when you are looking to do something in a bigger environment, you first need things like what we are doing today. You first must be united as women to agree to influence the Constitution. Yes. Because the President has said he will not take anything to Parliament which is not agreed on. Yes. So we need to also engage other women from other political parties.
Allow me to applaud our government and the Republican President in particular for abolishing cadreism and violence on the political scene. This has motivated us as women to be more freer and more willing to participate in politics. As you know, women are the worst affected by political violence. We thank the President for creating a conducive political environment for women to participate in politics.
As a country, we've been able, to be recognized regionally and internationally in terms of our high accolades in other sectors. I'm sure that we can do much better to ensure that that flag continues also to raise high in terms of women representation in decision-making positions and also in politics.
The Zambia Correctional Service in Mpika district has been commended for the prudent utilization of the Amapalo milling plant. Zambia Correctional Service Commission Chairperson Evaristo Kalonga says the plant has contributed to mitigating the current drought situation in the country. Details in the following report by Peggy.
The government is working at ensuring that the country is food secure in view of the drought situation being first in the country. Barely 2 months ago, the Zambia Correctional Service, ZCS, in Mpika district was gifted with an over 3.2 million kwacha Amapalo milling plant by World Vision Zambia. The Correctional Service is already making good use of the facility, and this has elated the Zambia Correctional Service Commission.
With this initiative, we'll having our own milling plant, so that whatever we produce will help to save the public, lower the cost of production. In line with these exercises vision, we'll ensure that all defense units, particularly correctional service, mitigate this drought situation, produce more maize. Let's sell to the local people here. Let the local people benefit the low prices of milling.
The Commission has also urged the Correctional Service in Mpika to utilize the Constituency Development Fund, CDF, to cushion some of its challenges.
For every sector of our nation, in this regard, the correctional facilities are very much in need. I think RSO and these two officers in charge here from Wambala and Mpika main facility, definitely we are talking about issues of congestion, issues of having a clinic.
Transport is also a challenge. Our farm is about 18 kilometers somewhere there, which is making it very difficult.
Peggy Gutinho for Zanis in Mpika, Muchinga Province.
The Ministry of Finance and National Planning has released over 5.7 million kwacha towards the payment of over 7,000 newly enumerated beneficiaries under the Drought Response Emergency Cash Transfer Program. Chilundu District Commissioner Patrick Kasambila says the commencement of the payment of transfers is in line with President Hakainde Hichilema's declaration that no Zambian should die of hunger as a result of the drought. Flagging off the exercise at Lusitu Primary School, Mr. Kasambila said all successful household beneficiaries that were enumerated will be paid 800 kwacha bi-monthly across the board for a period of 1 year. Here are the details.
Zambia is highly vulnerable to climate-induced shocks, as over 60% of Zambians rely on agriculture as their main source of livelihood. However, the country is currently experiencing the worst drought in living memory after experiencing an acute prolonged dry spell during the 2023-2024 farming season that caused damage to people's livelihoods and hardship for the affected communities. With 84 districts affected across the country, Republican President Hakainde Hichilema, during a national disaster and emergency, promised that no Zambian will die of hunger. Premised on President Hakainde Hichilema's declaration, the government has launched the Drought Response Emergency Cash Transfer aimed at consolidating ongoing social protection programs being implemented in the affected 84 districts.
In line with President Hakainde Hichilema's declaration of national disaster and emergency, the New Dawn government has since formulated various interventions aimed at cushioning our people from diverse effects of 2023-2024 farming season. I wish to thank our Republican President, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema's visionary leadership for letting the Ministry of Community Development and Social Services for realizing funding Chirundu district for social cash transfer, the department to carry out this exercise. The funding amounting is about 5,761,600 kwacha to pay 7,202 benefits.
For Chirundi District Social Welfare Office, the successful enumeration of 7,202 beneficiaries under the Drought Response Emergency Cash Transfer DRECT program is testimony of President Hakainde Hichilema's broader vision.
The government has released funds amounting to over 5 million to pay the 7,202 beneficiaries. That is to add on to the number of existing beneficiaries on the vertical expansion, which the district statistics actually stand at 11,530. So in total, the government is bringing money to Chirundu for beneficiaries totaling to 18,000 plus. To say all the beneficiaries under the Drought Emergency Cash Transfer will be getting 800 kwacha for the next 1 year.
As for the local authority and beneficiaries, the transfer will help in mitigating the negative effects of drought on livelihoods of the affected people by fostering resilience and support recovery efforts in the long term.
Government, through His Excellency, the Republican President, today we are here to witness the love that our President has. He has emphasized, spoken times without number, that no one will die of hunger for the good deeds that he is doing and for committing himself to release the funds amounting to over 5 million. This is a huge milestone for
Zanis reports in Chirundi District of Southern Province.
Central Province Permanent Secretary Milna Mwanakampwe has warned traders resisting to relocate to pave way for the construction of the Lusaka-Ndola dual carriageway that they risk losing their merchandise. Dr. Mwanakampwe, who inspected the Kabwe-Lusaka stretch at John Chinena area, says all traders carrying out their businesses within 50 meters of the road reserve should relocate to pave way for the road construction works. Here's a report.
It's been over 2 months since President Hakainde Hichilema launched construction works of the 327-kilometer Ndola-Lusaka dual carriageway. And Central Province Permanent Secretary Milna Mwanakampwe has inspected the roadworks on the Kabwe-Lusaka stretch of the road at Chiwombo's John Chinena area.
The desire of President Hakainde Hichilema to see this infrastructure be handed over to the people of Zambia within the time frame that has been agreed between the contractor and the government under public-private partnership. You are aware that within a space of 3 years, this infrastructure is supposed to be handed over to the people of Zambia. But if you look at the speed, the rate at which this road is being done, it tells you that we might even beat the contractor might beat the deadline.
Chiwombo Ward Councillor is also impressed with the roadworks, which have seen 200 youths employed.
So after the conclusion of this road, accidents are going to be reduced. Otherwise, this road, it will help the people of Chiwombo Ward. Number one, it has created employment, where the youths have been employed approximately of 200.
Earlier, Chiwombo District Commissioner Lloyd Kaeka said that traders at John Chinena were resisting to relocate to pave way for the roadworks.
People were refusing because they thought selling to them is to just be along where the road is going.
Dr. Mwanakampwe has warned that government will not allow any private developments within 50 meters of the road reserve.
I don't think that one we shall allow, and that's why we have law and order. That's why we have law and order, and if our people, it must be known, maybe people do not know that 100 meters from every trunk road is a road reserve.
Shupekile Nkunika for Zanis in Chiwombo.
Meanwhile, government has dispersed cash to 103 traders who lost their merchandise in an inferno at John Chinena makeshift market in Chiwombo early this year. Central Province Permanent Secretary Milna Mwanakampwe witnessed the disbursement of cash. Details in this report.
After suffering 3 months of borrowing to make ends meet, traders of Chiwombo's John Chinena makeshift market can now breathe a sigh of relief. This follows government's disbursement of cash to 103 traders who lost their merchandise in an inferno last May.
I had to borrow to restart my business following the inferno. We are very happy that government has given us this money. This is something that has never happened before.
John Chinena Market Chair Lady Lillian Chilale is equally excited. Central Province Permanent Secretary Miuna Mwanakampwe, who witnessed the payment of the funds to the traders, says each will get between 500 and 800 kwacha of the monies released by the Disaster Management and Mitigation Unit.
The President is aware of what the people at John Chinena Market have been going through from the time the fire ran through the market. Today, for starters, we will give our mothers, his sisters, his mothers, whose merchandise were burnt by fire, we will give between 500 and 800 kwacha today, just today in cash.
Chiwombo District Commissioner Lloyd Kaeka took the opportunity to highlight progress made in the disbursement of cash to the vulnerable under the drought emergency cash transfer in the district.
We have a total of 28,000 beneficiaries from both social cash transfer and emergency cash transfer.
28,000. Hlupekile Nkunika for Zanis in Chiwombo.
In the mining sector, a Chinese open-pit coal mine company, Wei Limited from Sinazongwe district, has declared its intentions to expand mining from open pit to underground mining. The company plans to invest about $950,000 United States dollars in the expansion project. Take a look at this report.
Zambian Wei Limited, a Chinese-operated mining company, held an environmental impact assessment EIA scoping meeting for the proposed underground mining operation in Chamana village in Sinazongwe. The company has been operating open-pit coal mining, but it plans to expand operations into underground mining in the area. Mine company principal consultant Mubanga Mwanza explains the scope of the proposed development.
So the Zambian Way intends to change the mining method from open pit mine to start underground mining. The purpose of the environmental and social impact study is to determine the negative and positive impacts of the project in order to protect both the environment and the stakeholders around the mine site.
And Mine Deputy General Manager Chimpan Shasimbea assured the people of Chamana village that the company is committed to environmental best practices, community engagement and job creation.
We are grateful for the opportunity to engage with you all to present our upcoming underground mining project and discuss its potential impact on our community. We are fully committed to environmental best practices, fostering community engagement, and creating employment opportunities for the people.
The traditional leadership has equally welcomed the development and urged the company to adhere to mining laws and regulations. Meanwhile, Sinazongwe Town Council Director of Planning, Mudenda Chipego, has appealed to the Zambian Wei Limited to consider employing youths trained under the CDF Skills Training Program.
Lino ndilamulomba vuyo kuti mbuli musololi wa chizikiti cha Sinazongwe.
I request Chief Royal Highness is
Otutwambo ntomwaya twambira kuti moya kubikama measures ali byena ali byeni.
Please, the issue that you promised us that you are going to do measures which are going to be, life friendly.
Ndalomba kuti nchomuganana kachitwa mbonya muchibete.
Please do according to your promises.
I want to make an appeal to the company that as a local authority, we've got a database of whom we have sent to these skills training institutions. People who got trained about whatever different skills can have opportunities of doing these other jobs.
Some miners are happy with the development and have called on the company to go ahead with its expansion plan. Warrior reporting in Snazongwe District, Southern Province.
We take a break. More stories still to come, including education news.
Woman Thou Art is a program that offers counsel to the female folk, sharing real-life experiences and providing guidance to the women and young girls on necessary steps and conduct that will help shape and nurture a sober society. Watch Woman Thou Art on Zanis TV every Wednesday at 18:30 hours on the Topster channel, channel 6 DTT, and channel 458 DTH.
Acting Serenja District Commissioner Peter Ndala has noted the transport challenges first in supporting the Girls' Education Women Empowerment Livelihood Project in Serenja District. Mr. Ndala says the handover of motorbikes by Gewel is among the interventions aimed at addressing the gap. Details in this report.
Government has handed over a motorbike worth 100,000 kwacha to the Department of Community Development in Serenja District. The motorbike is in support for the Girls' Education Women Empowerment Livelihood Program in the district. Acting Serenja District Community Development Officer Eda Tembo explains.
As Serenja District, we were facing a lot of challenges in terms of transport, for motorized transport from our CDAs, sub-center officers. But under the Supporting Women Livelihood of the Jewel program, the district has been considered with a motorbike.
Acting Serenja District Commissioner Peter Ndala is elated by the development.
As Serenja District Administration, we are grateful to the Minister of Community Development and Social Welfare for having supported the department in terms of transport. Today we have received a motorbike which will go a long way in helping the field officers deliver the services to the most needy people. We know that our district's terrain is something else. We have a lot of places that are hard to reach, and therefore having a motorbike in the department will go a long way in helping our staff. It also serves as a motivation, especially to the field officers. We pray that even in the near future, the ministry will consider supporting our staff in the district with more motorbikes.
Zanis News, Serenja.
The news continues. The Ministry of Education in Lumezi District says the school feeding program being implemented in 108 out of 131 schools has become a catalyst to the fulfillment of the right to education by boosting attendance and improving school performance. Details in the following report.
The school feeding program, led by Mary's Meals in Lumezi District, has proved to be a vital catalyst to the fulfillment of the right to education. The humanitarian organization provides a corn and soya porridge that is fortified with vitamins and minerals, making pupils get addicted to cues for a delicacy that has seen them with no worries about what to eat during break time, thus leading to increased enrollments, attendance, and overall improved performance. Lumezi Primary is among schools implementing the program.
It has also helped in improving the pass percentage at grade 7 level. Like with the previous exam, the school recorded 99%. Only one person failed.
The desire of every pupil is that the program continues, as Katongo Fulani shares.
It's nutritious and healthy. It gives us energy in class so that whenever the teacher is teaching, we can pay close attention, because sometimes when we're hungry, we have a tendency of dozing.
The coordinator of the program outlined the benefits of the school feeding initiative.
If we interview children, we find that they only have one meal per day. So when they come here, they find porridge, at least even the attendance is good.
I feel this program should really continue because it's one way
or another, encouraging our pupils to come to school.
Mary's Mills District Manager Raymond Mwale says the feeding program is responsive towards many sustainable development goals, especially goal number 1 and 2, aimed at alleviating poverty and hunger respectively.
The 3 pillars: no poverty, zero hunger, and access to education. That's where we focus our efforts. We make sure that wherever we're working from, we reduce poverty by educating the children. And when you educate the child, you are simply reducing hunger.
The District Education Board Secretary, Misozi Mwenya, is equally impressed that the initiative is aiding the free education policy.
We have really benefited from Mary's Mills. The way it has impacted on the education sector in our district is that we have seen that absenteeism has really gone down. We have seen the enrollments really bulging in our schools.
Patrick Soko, Zanis News, Lomezi District, Eastern Province.
Education news continues. Eastern Province Deputy Permanent Secretary Leos Mwape has called on parents and traditional leaders in Chasefo District to prioritize the education of their girl children. Speaking at the commissioning of the 1x3 classroom block at Nkanga Day Secondary School, constructed using the Constituency Development Fund CDF, Dr. Mwape has emphasized the informative power of education. Dr. Mwape says introduction of the free education is an initiative that is particularly important in rural areas where cultural practices and economic constraints sometimes lead families to choose early marriage over education for girls. He says government has constructed schools in various wards in the district through CDF to help reduce distances children must travel to access education.
The secondary schools we are building are for children. And if we marry over our children, who is going to occupy the secondary schools? So we call on you parents to be responsible enough. And I want also to sound this also to our traditional leaders, His Royal Highness Chief Mahmoud VI, to come to put in place bylaws that bars our parents from marrying off their children. We need to work with our government and support our children.
The Wild Bicycle Relief has donated 450 bicycles to Mumba District in Central Province under the Mobilized Communities Program valued at 2 million kwacha. Mumba Member of Parliament Credo Nanjua launched the distribution of the bicycles at Mono Primary School. More in the following report.
Mobility remains a challenge, especially among rural communities. Mumba Member of Parliament, Credo Nanjua, has flagged off the distribution of bicycles, courtesy of World Bicycle Relief.
The communities are growing, so it's still a challenge for children to move 5-10 kilometers in the morning to go to school. So with this donation, we have really appreciated because it's going to encourage the children from distant places to find themselves into school. So it's something that we have cherished, and we are just encouraging other donors to come on board to help the community.
World Bicycle Relief Country Director Brian Monga now shares the objectives of the initiative.
We provide bicycles for learners, we provide bicycles especially for the health sector and also for the livelihood sector. Today we have seen the official handover of over 450 bicycles valued about 2 million kwacha to Mumba District under the sectors that I've spoken about.
The education authorities and the community are happy at the gesture.
These bicycles will mitigate the challenge of our learners who are moving long distances. So this now, it means that instead of children coming to school late, they will be able to arrive at school on time and do their lessons and get back home and reach home on time.
Mana kubana bakaintu kati kwete risk kamurani kabantu bakusene mu road bana bamui barakwatwa kuba kubantu batakibikirwe so eshiri yachatuka kwamba tinjo bana bakufamba kushikangani
soji ndijamvura kabapengere maningi soje jachitiga osuno futwarumba boreza kwitira muri baba chintu chiba tuletera kuno ndashoma twarumba maningi
Krugasiankuru Zanis Mumbwa.
We take our final break. Stay tuned for environment news.
Woman Thou Art is a program that offers counsel to the female folk, sharing real-life experiences and providing guidance to the women and young girls on necessary steps and conducts that will help shape and nurture a sober society. Watch Woman Thou Art on Zanis TV every Wednesday at 18:30 hours on the Topster channel, channel 6 DTT, and channel 458 DTH.
A nature-based organization, Community Climate Solutions Zambia, has launched the 2024-2025 field slashing exercise in Lavushimanda district of Muchinga province. The exercise is aimed at preserving soil fertility, wildlife habitat, and reducing air pollution. Here's a report.
Bushfires have for a long time been damaging Zambia's local forests, as it is one of the drivers of deforestation and forest degradation. However, Community Climate Solutions Zambia has introduced a field slashing exercise in Lavushimanda district to allow farmers slash their fields at a fee instead of using fire to burn the grass in their fields.
What we are trying to do is to encourage every farmer in these communities where we operate across 8 provinces in Zambia, but now in my view, for people to slash their fields. When they slash their fields, they make fire breaks. They reduce the chances of fires around their areas. And we do it by making sure that they get a payment for doing that activity, which has got so many benefits.
Lavushimanda District Commissioner Terry Skunda was represented by the District Administrative Officer Maurice Kavanda at the launch of the field slashing exercise.
And we want to be an example so that they're able to see the difference between those that are burning their fields and those that are just slashing, and later on they cultivate a plant, because the production, according to research, we are going to have a better production as opposed to burning.
The traditional leadership in the area has welcomed the move.
Obusuma bwakwebati okukingirira ifimuti na fintu ifingi amabara yesu pakwebati akwateka omufundo chikarenga kulaba kwa fertilizer inono okulabika mu mabara chikareta obuya ntanshinganshi.
Now Mimwimba for Zanis, Lavushimanda District, Muchinga.
In other news, Kitwe District Administrative Officer Mwamba Mlenga has urged farmers to obtain government loans and procure irrigation farming equipment in view of the effects of the droughts that affected crop yields in the last farming season. Speaking during this year's World Cooperatives Day, Mr. Mlenga says cooperatives are a critical unit in ensuring food security and economic development. Details in the following report.
Business and agriculture cooperatives have continued to play a major role in ensuring food security and economic development. Currently, government is using cooperatives to financially empower citizens. Cooperators running different business ventures in Kitwe joined the rest of the world in commemorating this year's World Cooperatives Day. Kitwe District Administrative Officer Mlenga Mwamba graced the commemorations.
Drought is another area of concern which has affected the agricultural sector almost everywhere in the nation. Cooperatives cannot just sit and mourn as a result of the effects of climate change. As a response to this problem, I urge all of you, fellow cooperators, to consider practicing climate-smart agriculture via irrigation of crops in order to mitigate the effects of drought. This will also help you not only to have an all-year-round crop production, but to be food secure as well. We heard from our district livestock officer where he was encouraging us also to diversify into livestock farming, so that if one part is affected, we have somewhere to fall back on. In order to achieve this, I advise you cooperators to obtain loans which will enable you to obtain irrigation equipment for your household and national food production.
The Minister of Agriculture used the event to urge farmers to prepare for this year's distribution of farming inputs.
So let's sit down together and find ways and means of how we can encourage each other and do businesses that will benefit us as cooperatives, not just looking towards FISIP. This year, Vadako na Balandapo Kaliokwebati, Copper Belt Yonse Tulea Ivacha. Please, phone numbers. Let's see that we update our phone numbers, or else to get some problems. Teicho cheka abashinga kwanisha na tuishwa fisipu tukwanisho kupela bonse na tukwata sa fine. Ida tule itati credit window. Yeda maloni mwapo keleko mwaka wa fumineko na unoine mwaka eko yadi.
And the entrepreneurs are enjoying the benefits of belonging to cooperatives.
From our products, we are able to share, and even to help our fellow women in our cooperative, we are able to empower ourselves with the small to say, businesses. They are able to sustain themselves. That's how I've seen the benefit of coming together as women.
The commemorations were held under the theme, Cooperatives Build a Better Future for All. Liz Ngobeka reporting for Zanis in Kitwe.
Lastly in the news, the Ministry of Small Scale and Medium... I beg your pardon? Okay, take two. Lastly, in the news, the Ministry of Small and Medium Enterprise Development, through the Citizens Economic Empowerment Commission, has handed over modern agriculture equipment to 4 cooperative unions in Sikongo District, Western Province. Western Province Permanent Secretary Simomo Akapelwa, who graced the event, said the cooperatives will also receive support with irrigation and processing equipment to increase their household incomes. More in the following report.
Nebusazi bikulirwa kona kwa mhayali belekso zechwana mwasikongo neseluli utwelanga fela kwali naza babamu konoka chense ulitoe pumama mazoho aluna.
24-year-old Nosiku Makoi is one of the members of 4 cooperatives in Sikongo District that have received modern tractors from the Ministry of Small and Medium Enterprise Development. The members are grateful to the government through CEC for empowering them with agriculture equipment.
Bobatisize litabazeze tafisa bopilo bwana Wasikongo. Itumezi ahulu kakulikola kwa Sikongo no sialezi ahulu kola lwapili kubona matrakta atakwanu. Nerusazi bino lima ngafani tupulu twaluna. Tulasona tuzwa kwa no lima ngantupulu twala ngelu tunyandisa faka lubona kuli muso na ululatile myalo nakulibala zomwezize.
CEC Director General Charles Mungule explains the conditions attached to the tractors.
From our point of view, we think these cooperatives will have a very good run, even in terms of repayment, because we think that production levels and productivity will go up, and there will therefore be no need to think that they can fail. Especially that beyond this, we will also give them irrigation support so that we don't expect them to be in production only during the rain season. The tractors, therefore, since it's a loan, here is how it works. They remain equipment in the name of CEEC until they are fully paid for. They will be operated by specified individuals.
Western Province Permanent Secretary Simomo Akapelwa urged the farmers to adopt new farming methods to increase production.
I'm very happy today to hand over this equipment to those 4 cooperatives. I think this is the first time in Congo district that this is happening. This is it's possible because of the very good agricultural policies of the UPND government. A lot of times when you ask the farmers why are they practicing old farming methods, they tell us there is nobody to show them good farming methods. Therefore, PACO, DACO, you have a big job to ensure that you give guidance to these farmers. That's why you are here.
Sifwe Mangala, Zanis, in Congo District, Western Province.
As we end the news, a recap of stories that made headlines. Government acquires land from Zambia valued at $13.5 million US. 0.7 million kwacha drought response released. Chinese mine in Sinazongwe to invest $950,000 US in expansion program. And World Vision hands over ultra-modern dormitory in Shuangandu. That's all that we had on Zanis News tonight. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Kafola Salamba. And on behalf of my sign language interpreter, Joas Shikombwe, and the entire production crew, it's stay tuned and stay blessed.